A very good morning to all of you guys. Tiago Andrade here from the Trading Cage, and this is where we beat the gold. Well, thank you once again for joining us. It's an awesome Tuesday here in Brazil. Weather is nice. It's quite warm actually, but here we are to once again see what gold is doing today. Okay. We traded together with our students last night, managed to have a very good take. Gold did not do what I actually expected yet. It's on its way to it. But, well, we never said that it would go into that region as soon as we wanted to. It hasn't reached that trigger candle on the daily yet. It's just working above that 50% of that macro retracement. So for now, let's go have a look at what it's happening here on our daily chart, as we do every single day. So what's happening right now is, as we can see here, we are still, oh, I have a whole bunch of Fibonacci's here. We're just gonna mess up this. Hang on, let me take these out. I'll take that out. Take that out. Now you can see it properly. So, as we know, the market works in between high, low, and 50%, right? So we have this 50%, which is exactly around here. And we had yesterday's candle, I mean, the candle that opened last night, Asian market opened and came and tested that 50% region. Now, it's coming back to where the price closed yesterday. And the only other region it has to go to, it's basically our trigger candle, which we have been talking about the last few days. So exactly that region of the 5104, okay? That's a good target for a trade that we may want to do in here. The other region is the trigger candle 19. What I'll do is I'll take this arrow out. I'll take this arrow out. I'll put my line back in. I'll take this arrow out. Oh, bugger. Sorry, man. Let me put that one there. And then I'll put this one here. And then I'll unselect it. Otherwise, every time I press delete, it deletes everything. Okay. So I'll take this arrow out. We don't need this one. And I'll take this one out as well. Cool. So now our chart is clear. So basically, candle 28 came to grab all that inefficiency that was left from yesterday, which is a good move. I mean, at least you know that the chart is not leaving any offers behind, okay? So all of those selling offers that it would have in here, it has been grabbed by today's candle. So right now, what we are looking for is a good entry point to take us around to that maximum high of yesterday, and also to see if it's going to break through the maximum high of yesterday and come around the region of the 5107. We have got about 5,000 points from what it's doing right now until that trigger candle. Once it hits there, we may see price react to it a little bit, so it may come down a little bit. So people that like to take partials, just take a partial out and then put your price on break even. Or if you want to just use that as a target and then you got there, you take your trade out. That's another strategy that you can use as well. Different people will trade in a different way, so um, there's no way of saying, look, price is not going to go over this, because it might do. So it might break through that and come into the region of the 5159 which is our relevant stopping point. Okay, that candle 19 is a relevant stopping point. The other thing that can happen by looking here at our daily chart is that we can see all of this inefficiency here that was left on candle 21. Okay, so there's quite a lot of inefficiency. So price might get in there and accelerate due to that all of that offer in there, which is buying contracts offer, is the stops of everybody that has sold and is still holding their position. So there's quite a bit in there. Price may accelerate through that region. Now, you may ask, Tiago, um, what if price comes down? Where are you going to short this market? Well, I'm not going to short it now, okay, because we are above 50% and we are above support. We'll have a look at the smaller time frames. Hey, Patrick. Morning, buddy. So we are above the 50% region and we are above support. So at the moment, I do not feel like shorting this market. Now, if market comes back down and breaks through that 50, there is a little bit of offer here still, selling offers, and there's this whole inefficiency here. Of course, that we do have the trigger candle number 22, which could hold this price in there, okay? So we need to pay attention to that region as well, because price may get there and then just reject it and come back up. Now that's for selling. At the moment, I am a buyer in this market. I prefer to buy than to sell. But that doesn't mean that as day traders, we'll do whatever the market shows us that we need to do, okay? If it gives us a sell, we will short the market. If it gives us a buy, we are going to go long, okay? So for the daily chart, this is pretty much it. We still have got our trend line here. So on the macro, we've got our trend line going up. It's really funny to see every time I come around here, I have a look at these candles. These are daily candles. And then all of a sudden you see these huge candles and you can see that the frequency of the market has changed. So at the moment, it has changed by quite a lot than what we are normally used to. Now it's getting a bit slower, but there's so much offer everywhere that you can get very big movements in an instant. So this is quite good. On our daily chart, on our 1 hour chart, actually, at the moment, what we can see is that we have got support around this region here. We also have got support around this region here. Let's put an arrow there. So it's basically around here. So we have, sorry. So we have that regional support, okay, which is around there. And then we've got this one, which is trigger candle 4 held that price right through that right-hand side, as you can see. Price is a bit consolidated. Um, it's not being able to break through yesterday's high. So what we'll do, we can get a Fibonacci here just to see where price is in relation to today's lowest price. So on this last movement, we are below at the moment. We are below that 50%. So we can leave it there. We are above 50% of today though. Okay, so this is 50% of today. We are above that, but we are below that 50% of the last movement. Oh, no, we're not. Sorry. No, because the minimal of candle one is this one here. Sorry about that. So we are above 50% of the movement and we are above 50% of the day, which is cool. Now, candle 37 can come and test trigger candle 32. Also can test these triggers to the left to see if we find support in this region, okay? We do know that candle 19 held the price in here, so it was a good resistance for the price. But then candle 34 and 36 broke through that resistance. Right now, 37 may be coming down to grab some more liquidity since it can't renew the highs yet. As we always say, if you can't beat the highs, it's going to have to come down lower to grab liquidity and then try to move up again. If you can't do it, if it tries 2, 3 times, then every time you'll have to come down lower and lower until it gets into an area where it's going to induce a lot of sellers, and then all of these sellers together will push this price down. Because if everybody sells and people that are bought, they liquidate it, they liquidate the positions or their stop loss gets taken out, of course the price will drop. Okay, that's how price drops. So at the moment, we've got candle 37 there doing its thing. Nothing for us at the moment, so we just all relaxed. Let's go over to the 15 minutes. On the 15-minute chart, we have our Fibonacci here. So highest of yesterday, lowest of today. So this is the movement we have at the moment. We can see here our 50%. This is the 50% macro, okay, from that daily chart. This is our support for the moment. And basically price is sideways. On a region like this, best thing to do is sell at high and then buy at low. But let's see exactly how price wants to react to these regions. Apart from this, there's nothing much that we could talk about. This is a little, the trigger candle here may hold this price around there because this is support. It's the last known support. It's also in the region of the 50%. It's the same place where candle 46 and candle 45 rejected the last pullback. Okay. So let's say if candle 53 will manage to come down to that 50% region and possibly pick up all this liquidity that we have down here. So we got a whole bunch of liquidity right there. Let's see if candle 53 or 54 now will actually come down to grab that. If it doesn't grab that and comes right back up, the only liquidity it will have picked up would have been this small amount of liquidity under this lateralization here, under this consolidation. So it's not just enough for what we needed to do. I'll take these out because we don't have that inefficiency there anymore. That's gone. What we do have is we have got a whole bunch of stops now in this region. And we have got a whole bunch of stops down here from the guys who bought around here at the 50% region. Okay, so we've got liquidity here. I'll change this to green. Cool. So we got that in there. Sorry, my throat's not that good. I've got a bit of a cough for the last few days. Has not been very, very good. But it is what it is. I've got to go on. I can't let you guys down just because I'm not feeling too good. Um, all right, candle 54 is testing up, so it might still come down a little bit, but there's nothing for us in that movement for now. Nothing consolidated, simply because candle 54 can come and test these trigger candles here and then come back down. But we are above. Oh, I forgot to select my Fibonacci. Look, then it got deleted. Cool. So our Fibos there, we are above 50%. So if we sell around here, um, we have about 400 points of target. Yeah, just about 500 points of target. But then this uh, last structure may push the price up. We don't want to be stuck in there. Candle 54 can also just come back up, clear all this inefficiency here, which proves to us that they just wanted to induce sellers to put more liquidity up top. And then most likely this price will come to stop these guys up the top of the structure. Okay. So every time price does something that you think that it shouldn't really do, try to think why. Why are they inducing? Is that just a pullback? Until when it is a pullback? Um, Normally a pullback will be until the 50% of the movement. Once it goes over that 50%, then it's not a pullback anymore. It's changing the structure, either to a uptrend or a downtrend. Okay. So here in 1 minute, we see candle 800 opened up with a gap from candle 799. It will have to test down to close that gap. Yep, okay. Gap closed. Now it can continue on its way up if that's what price wants to do. Can't leave a gap on the 1 minute. How do you know that? Screen time. A lot and lot and lots and lots of screen time. So when you decide to trade an asset, let's say, oh, I want to trade gold, or I want to trade Nasdaq, or I want to trade SP 500, um, or even euro against dollar, make sure you get enough screen time on the on whatever that you're trying to trade. Okay, because this screen time is going to give you enough information and feeling about the market. So it's not just the technique. The technique that I use, actually, you can trade anything you want, with the same, using the same technique. But the good thing about having enough screen time for whatever asset you want to trade is that each asset has its peculiarities, all right? So they move in a different way, they behave in a different manner. Some are really quick, like Nasdaq. Nasdaq, once um, it picks up a trend, it just goes, right? The gold is a bit slower, but once it finds the direction of it, it will just keep on going. So you can make a lot of money on gold because it's a asset with a lot of liquidity, okay? Not just a lot of liquidity. It has really good frequency as well and volatility. So I like trading gold. It's one of the best assets to trade in the whole world. It's what people trade the most. So, which means that we'll have a lot more volatility most of the time. Of course, we have good times to trade gold. The reason I picked up this time to do to make these lives with you guys is because right now the market normally from 9 to 10, it's a good time for you to make analysis, okay? It's not the best time to trade. The best time to trade is after 10 o'clock. But then after 10 o'clock, I'm together with my students on a closed Zoom meeting, okay? So I trade together with my students on that workshop, and we trade every day. So we'll trade from 10 o'clock until about midday on that closed room. But making the analysis now, while the market is sort of calm, it will give you a good idea of what's going to happen later on, and then you can make your strategies for the day per se. When I opened up this live, I told you guys that I'm a buyer, okay, on this market. I do prefer to buy. We are above all 50%. We are above support. But then I can already make my predictions, sorry. I can make my predictions about on how it's going to move when the American market opens. So if for the next hour price consolidates in these regions and try to come back up here and it can't break through, most likely when the American market opens, this price will be pushed down. If it pushed down, I know exactly where's my regional support. So when it breaks through that, I know that market has got enough volatility to continue its way down. And we have got a lot of stops throughout these regions. So we've got a lot of liquidity for the market to grab, which means that we could see today, if we can't break above um, yesterday's high until the American market opens, we could see price coming down to 4888 during that American market opening, okay? Simply because the market needs all this liquidity that it has left behind. If it didn't need that liquidity, it would be, just stopping and continue to renewing new highs. I do expect this market to come around to that 5107, but it doesn't mean it's going to have to be done today. Okay, market can come back down here, grab all of this liquidity, come to that trigger candle region on the daily, and then move back up, creating more liquidity once again on the upper region so it can break through and possibly go over to that record high that gold had. Okay, so these are the good things about having these live at this time in between 9 and 10. It's a good time that I picked up because now we know exactly what we're looking for and we know it early. So I know at basically it's 7 o'clock in the US, 7:30 now in the US, and I already know what's happening to the market as the market in Europe closes and the American markets open. By the time everything happens, I know exactly where I want to buy and where I want to sell, and then I can make my trades with some sort of ease, okay? One thing that we have here as well that I just saw it. Look at this. How about this trend line here? Look at that. So this could be a region of support for our price as well. So we have that trend line going up since yesterday. Price hasn't broken through. We are above all 50s. There's nothing to tell me at the moment that price is coming down. The only thing that would tell me that this price is coming down is if we had some sort of retest of that region, or if the market came and stopped this region, brought the price back inside of this structure, that would really tell me that this market's going to have to come down to that. We already had candle, this 5 minute chart. We were stuck at 15-minute chart because at 5 minutes, all we can see is this huge mess here. As price is going sideways, we do not trade the structures like this simply because we'll try to get into a trade, we'll be stuck in a trade, going sideways. And I mean, this is not the ideal way to trade, okay? Um, so right now, what we could see here is that candle 42 um, came up here to where these trigger candles were from yesterday, where the market opened last night. So it couldn't beat that through, couldn't break through. So price had to come down to support again. Then price came down to support once again through the night. Couldn't break through that support, came back up, came back down to support, couldn't break through, came up to candle 122. And what it did is it grabbed the liquidity up the top there from candle 42. Okay, so you got the stops from everybody, stopped everybody that sold. But instead of continuing on its way up, it came back down inside the structure. So we know that we have a really good resistance up in this region, and we have a really good support below. So price is squashed in between these support and resistance right now. So if this price, it already came down to the 50% here to grab some more liquidity and came back up. And then it came down lower, just below this 50, to grab liquidity again and couldn't break through. At the moment, we can expect this price to come down a bit lower because this liquidity wasn't enough. This one wasn't enough. So this means that this one will have to come down lower. Because if this one was enough for it to break through, it would have broken through already. All right. So once you start your analysis of the chart, you are going to find all these little bits of information that tells you, look, the chart wants to go in this direction. Okay, so market wants to go that direction. But if it can't go and you see that's fighting through and it's not beating anyone, then most likely will have to come down because market is moved by liquidity. Nobody's going to be punching their hand through a wall, through a wall, through a wall the whole day. If it can't break through, it will go the other way. Okay, and then get a bit more distance and then try to run back into that wall with a bit more power and a bit more velocity. Because then if you come really quick, you might break through that wall. Okay, but if you're like 10 centimeters apart, you can't punch through. So this is what might happen right now, and this is what we're looking here on the gold, okay? Sorry. Um, on here in our 1 minute, we can see that candle 810 closed just on the high region of candle 809. Candle 811 is testing down, but we have got nothing for the moment, trade-wise, on the 5 minutes or the 15 minutes. Candle 162 closed above 50% of candle 161. Let's see what candle 163 does. At the moment, everything is sideways. We could put a smaller Fibo here just to find out we are below 50%, but we could see if there's any sort of rejection of that 50% region. We do have trigger candle here 136, which has been stopping this price here. So it stopped candle 158, 159, and 161. So price has been being held by this trigger candle here. There's not enough volatility at the moment. Um, so not too much for us to do. This is the boring part of being a trader. It's where you're waiting for the market to do one thing, and then all you need to do is wait. We have days like this. We have some days that are actually quite good because the market's moving, so we have quite a lot of information. But when the market's not moving, it's a lot harder to trade it. Just having a look here at the Brazilian market to see what it's doing. Price is a bit stuck at the moment as well. So it looks like today is a slow Tuesday for the world. Candle 163 is trying to close below candle 162. Let's see if it'll manage to break through. There you go. So there's 400 points there. I just said 400 points like it's not a lot. It's not a lot for the last frequency we had on the gold, which every candle was over, basically over 1,000 points. And so now I've got to adjust my mindset to what the market now is doing, because the frequency now it's starting to come down again. So 400 points is not nothing, you know. It's just the last couple of days. All we had, the smallest, I think the shortest stop we had for our protection, I think was over 2,000 points. So it was one of those days that we had to lower our hand before getting to a trade just in case it went wrong because the stop was way too far away. So you got candle 163 once again. Buyers pushing through that price. We got candle 55 tested down. Let's see if it's gonna manage to break through the minimals of the other candles here on the 15 minutes. We have all these trigger candles here to the left. Let's see if it will be able to break through and come up. I still expect this price to come and stop all of these guys. I mean, if price came down here and didn't stop anybody and just came back up, you wouldn't tell me that it would have enough liquidity to do what it tried to do before. So if this price actually came down here, it stopped everybody, and then left us a three candle pattern here around the 50%, that would be actually a good buy. But we do need this price to stop these guys. If it doesn't stop them, then there's no point. It doesn't show me that, look, I didn't have liquidity up the top. I came down, grabbed all that liquidity now, and now I can move. So it's missing something. I'm not quite happy about this movement, and I wouldn't buy here simply because it doesn't show me that it has enough power to come back up. But then again, we do have support around there. If buyers just want to hit buy now in that region, it might as well push that price up. It's just not what I would expect for a healthy grab of liquidity. Price is moving really slowly. We have a short, we have a trend line, a low trend line here, cutting through, but it's about to be broken by candle 818. Let's see if this will come up. At the moment, we have this Fibonacci here, which is the height of that movement, and this low here. Let's see if we'll break through that 50%. On the 15 minutes, we can see um, that it's trying to break through that trigger candle 51, which is our relevant stopping point there. Boring part. So, yeah, nothing much to say, my friends, right now, simply because this is the boring part of being a trader, waiting for the market to move. Do you guys have any questions? I mean, you can always write down in there on the chat. I always look up and look at the chat, and I'll be happy to um, explain anything that you guys may have, any questions. So if you have any questions, feel free just to write down on the chat, and I'll answer um, all your queries, okay? While we have nothing to do, while we're waiting for the market to move. So if you do have anything, just write it down, okay? Brazilian market's also consolidated. Let's have a look at what, um, let me just have a look at what Nasdaq's doing. Oh, Nasdaq's moving slowly, but it is moving. So, okay. So just the gold is a bit shy today. But very soon it's gonna have to find a direction. So very soon, gold will have to see if it's gonna stop these guys here or if it's gonna stop these guys there. It's not gonna be like this the whole day. So by 10 o'clock, by 5:57, 5:55, sorry, by 9:59, we should see a bit of volatility on the gold once again. Okay, so candle 154 closed below its 50% and closed in the region of 50% of candle 163. Candle 165 is trying to come back down, trying to stop these guys, which is good. I do expect this price to come here and actually stop everybody that bought in here prior to making a movement up or continue on its way down. At the moment, it hasn't done any liquidity grab to be able to actually make any movements. So let's see how it's going to play out. We've got 20 minutes to go on our live. If the chart stays like this, what we could do is we could play cards. I don't know how many of you guys would like to play cards. Oh man. Let's see. Um, all right, candle 163 is almost there. Trying to break through that minimals. Well, it has confirmed pullback on the 1 minute, so it does need to um, renew that minimal low. It needs at least to renew that price. Okay, there you go. Renew that price. It's grabbing that liquidity, so now it's gonna get better. It would be good if candle 165 also grabbed this one, the liquidity below 136. It doesn't mean that I would like to sell if it breaks through that 50, okay? But I would wait to see if market's is going to continue down or if it will actually come back up. All right, there we go. Good, 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 good. Should accelerate now a little bit until the 50% of the day. Come on. So we do know that market does require liquidity to move. So when the market is stuck like it was before, um, then it does these movement. We know that it's doing a good movement simply because it needs that liquidity. So this is very good. If it tried to push the market up from where it was, without doing any liquidity grab, it would be really difficult for me to believe on that movement simply because we didn't see um, the market grabbing any liquidity at all. So this is quite good. Oh, it's going really far out now. This is the other bad thing about the market grabbing liquidity is that when it goes to grab that liquidity and it leaves all these huge candles, the stop is too long. So it doesn't give us a good entry point because the stop is simply way too long um, for us to get into that trade. Now, if this price comes around these regional support and rejects it, then it might give us a three candle pattern here for us to go back up. At the moment, it's breaking through that trend line we have here in the 5 minutes. So we have that trend line. Um, let's see how far down this liquidity grab will go. Candle 165 closed just above the trigger candles here to the left. Candle 166 is trying to break through them. Candle 165 did not test. Candle 166 did not test either. Now we know that we not trust on candles that don't test. So since we can't trust them, we'll just let it go. the 1 minute here, we can see that candle 827 closed below 826 low. 828 is renewing its low there, but it is in that region of support right now. So really getting pressure from buyers around this region. There you go, buyers reacting to the price. Let's see if candle 829 will renew this last low, or if it's gonna come around here to the 50% of the day. We've got 1 minute to go. At the moment, it's too difficult to sell. We don't want to be selling on support. Okay. So just let the price go. It would have been really good if price came down here, and then it stopped these guys, but stopped around there. The stopper would be a lot lower, so we could get into that trade. But after it went all of these way down, let's see how many points we're talking about. 2,000 points once again. 2,000 points worth of a stop. Okay, so candle 166 will close inside of candle 165. At the moment, it is inside of those trigger candles, but it's not inside of trigger candle 162. We've got sellers wanting to sell, but buyers are hitting on that price. I will wait to see what's going to happen on this 15 minutes here. Okay, so we got buyers and getting on that price. This is good. This could be a pullback until about the region of the 50% of the day. Yeah, so about there, we've got this movement here, and we have got this one here. So this would be 50% of the movement. Sellers doesn't want to allow buyers to get on with the price again. So candle 832 has felt their pressure from the sellers. We are not on a hurry. This is just the beginning of the day. So let's wait for the price to show us exactly what it wants to do before we try to get into trades that could possibly leaves us with a stop. Sorry, guys. They a bit slow. Here we go, candle 167. Getting a little bit of pressure from sellers there. So now our feeble on the 1 minute goes up to that 50% of the day. Why? Because simply the movement has stopped, right? So we had a movement going up at the moment, and then it stops, and then it comes back down. So when it comes back down, it has a change of direction. Then you can put your new feeble in. Let's see if candle 167 will be able to break through all those trigger candles to the left and then break support. It has renewed candle XAUUSD low, so it has done what a pullback has to do. Candle 835 has no obligation on continuing its way down anymore. As we're getting over to around 10 o'clock, we get a bit more volatility on the price. So this is quite normal. Now, we've got 6 minutes to go. I will leave you with what should happen, right, on the American market. Um, we are traders, so we have to speculate what's going to happen to the price. At the moment, we've got price in the regional support. We have a really strong resistance up above. Okay. So the liquidity that we had inside of this region here of today has been grabbed. Okay. So right now, the only liquidity we have is below that support. So if price breaks through that support, I do believe it will continue on its way down. Okay. Because there's a lot of selling offers here for the price to grab. That's really a whole bunch from yesterday and today. So that price could melt and just continue on its way down. Oh, hang on. Let me see if candle 168 will test. Test down, test down. Just test down. No, it's not going to do a big enough test. If it tested down a bit more, I was willing to buy here into that 50%. Just made a very small test. But we can wait for a 3 candle pattern here on the 15 minutes as well. But the price has moved quite a bit, so I'm not going to get into this trade. But this, if it had tested a bit more, would have been better, especially around this 50% region here. So if price tested around here, rejected it, was actually a good buy into that 50%. It's okay, that one has gone, doesn't matter. So yeah, so if price comes down here, I would be happy to short the market because there's a lot of liquidity down below. Now, as price comes up over this 50%, it will have all of these inefficiency here to grab from candle 165. And also now I would believe more, I would trust more in a movement going upwards, simply because it grabbed all that liquidity, and now it can stop these guys and possibly have enough power to break through yesterday's highs, um, going on target of that trigger candle 21 on the daily chart. Oh, candle 20, sorry, on the daily chart. Okay, so price did what we wanted it to do. I had been talking about the whole morning on how the price would need to go and grab liquidity down below. It did. It didn't allow us to get into that sell simply because it went at once. Um, and it didn't really show us that it was going to. It just went. So that's totally fine. We do not react to the price, we act on the price. There's a big difference. Reaction is when you see a big candle going and you just want to jump on it and you click buy now or sell now. Action is when you know what needs to happen, you know where it needs to go, and then if it shows you, if it gives you an entry point that you can actually get into safely with your risk management in place, then you do that, and that's action, not reaction. Okay? So that's the good thing about acting on a price, not reacting to it. So here we go. Um, let's see if candle 168, we will close above candle 167. We do want to see this price coming back up over that 50%. Confirm pullback to the highs. Candle 840 should go. Candle 168 did not close above candle 167. Candle 57 here is testing down. Candle 156 came back inside. I'm going to put a buy here on its high. Let's see if price will come to get me. My stop here is about 1,000 points. And I'm buying over at the 15 minutes, okay? Not at the 5 minutes. Grab my entry point. Let's see if it's going to break through that 50. Price can test until about there. I didn't like the way it accelerated. If it does start breaking through these trigger candles here, then let's say 3 candle pattern here on the 15 minutes. That's why I got into that trade, okay? 3 candle patterns, they pay 85% of their trades. So it's a good rate. If it doesn't pay this one, it's all good. Um, let me have a look. So candle 842 came back around the 50% region. Candle 843 is coming back to the trigger candle 840. Let's see if we'll break through that 840. That's a very good test on the 15 minutes actually. It hasn't broken through that 840, closed below 844, tested up, then down. Let's see if it continue on its way up. Cool, guys, it's 10:03. I'm gonna have to go to trade with my students. As I said before, I'm gonna leave my take here on that trigger candle 51. Okay. Um, so I'll have to let you go. But if you like this content, okay, if you like this channel, don't forget to hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and also share this with your friends, okay? So we're here every day live from 9 o'clock in the morning, Brazilian time. It's about 7 o'clock on the US time. And I hope that you've been enjoying this. We've been doing this for about a month now. It has been awesome for me. Okay, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really enjoying having you guys around. So if you want to comment anything, just write it down. If I can help you in any way, I'll be more than happy to answer all your questions. Okay, we do offer private mentorships as well, and follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram is uh, Thiago's Trading Cage. Okay, so you can follow us in there. Also, my other Instagram is Thiago Andrade Trader. You can find me there as well. If you have any other questions, please let us know. It has been awesome to be here today. Market's really low at the moment. It's not making any great moves, but it's okay. It's part of the life of a trader, okay? So some days are boring. Most of the days trading is boring, actually, but it's really good when you know exactly what you're looking at and where are the regions that will pay you good money. So thank you for your time. Thanks for being here. This has been the Trading Cage where we beat the gold. And if there's any good trades later on today, I'll come up if I finish with my students early. I'll come around to record some other videos around the American opening, the US market opening time. Okay. Thank you guys. I'll catch you soon. I'll see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock. God bless.